Welcome everybody to the podcast. Podcast number 9. We're almost at number 10. We're almost in double digits. How fucking exciting is that?
Yeah, it is exciting. Hi, everyone,
Welcome
and
to another.
welcome to another episode of us getting fucked drunk.
Yeah, I mean, we sit there and say, yeah, this is loosely a car podcast, but it's mostly us catching up and drinking. Before we actually jump into news and everything that's happening in predominantly F1 and car world, just want to remind everyone to like, share, and subscribe. The views have been going up. It's been really great to see that we have some people that are interested in watching what we have to say about cars. I've
Going
actually
up double digit week on week. Yeah.
Yeah. We've actually got some friends. Well, I've got some friends in Australia that have commented and said, last week we were talking about gravel, and they were just talking about how interesting it was to hear us talk about gravel at circuits. So it was really, really great to get that feedback. I mean, obviously it wasn't in the comments, it was just a personal message, but yeah. If you're interested, remember to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out, and we appreciate everybody listening. So I think we've got to address Belgium, Spa. Come on, it is the race we all love.
Yeah, and I think it was. I like the race actually.
It was a good race.
Yeah, of course, the Mercedes checked out, and actually, no, they didn't really check out, did they? But
No.
they were fast enough to anyway stay, anywhere between 6-8 seconds from each other and from the guys behind, from Verstappen behind, and then there was a big gap. But what really surprised me during that race is that it actually was that nobody got lapped.
Yeah.
It was a pretty tight group. I mean, I know it's a long circuit, right? Obviously, so overlapping someone is tough. But when it comes down to it, it wasn't between the first and the last. It wasn't a margin of 3 laps and 6 minutes. It was really a question of a minute between the first and last, right? So
Yeah.
that's something I liked. The mid pack, I thought action was great. I was exciting at the start with Leclerc, gaining 5 places, and then second lap losing all of them. Starting to lose all of them one by one. I mean, what a race for Ferrari.
Yeah.
The Reynolds performed really well. I think Cyril is going to get that tattoo. Probably at Monza this week. I'm really thinking that Reynolds might be, on the podium this time, but I wasn't that far saying that Ricardo would be a third. Did I say third last week?
I don't know what it was, but we were pretty close in our predictions for Ferrari, that's for sure. I mean, this was a race that really showed. This is the big thing before we get into any of the other shit that's like auxiliary to the race itself. Man, this was the race that really showed the pack is getting closer and closer together. I think this is the first time at least in my memory,
in the midfield, you mean?
Yeah, how close everybody is getting.
Yeah.
Like Renault, it was great to see them up front. It was great to see like AlphaTauri.
Oh, Gasly.
How good was he?
His race was, in theory, his race should have been ruined by this, by the safety car. Yeah. But he actually still made it work. And he was really fast.
Yeah.
I thought Alex Albon is, still, he did well. He did some overtaking and everything, but I still think the performance is a bit meh. The first 3, I won't even talk about them because they're just in a, in their world. Although Verstappen is still bringing that car, way above. Well, you're punching way above its weight, right?
But it shows that Red Bull, not the team, as a company, has got a problem. They've got 4 really fucking good drivers. Really good drivers.
He's really doing well too, yeah.
Yeah, they've got 4 really good drivers, and that's just like, remember the days in F1 where you used to have teams show up for pre-qualifying? Remember pre-qualifying where you used to have to qualify to be in qualifying to race?
Yeah.
Because there were so many teams. I mean, that would be really interesting if... that's not coming back. There's not enough. But
the Concord Agreement... Yeah, but the Concord Agreement is supposed to attract more teams as well. So
yeah,
and there are talks about new teams coming in. Well, probably not next year now, but yeah, with the new rules and new regulations in 2022, that might be something that that may happen.
Yeah. But man, that was to me that was a fucking great race. I really love that race. I thought it was a
Yeah, it was not yet like the really exciting last lap or
mm,
first lap or something like this, but it's still such an iconic track, and it flows, and when you see the corners and the cars going through, it's just so enjoyable to watch.
yeah. I mean, the track for me, I love the track. That's number
Yeah.
one. But the thing I do love is it's showing. This was the track where I really saw how close the teams are becoming.
Hmm.
Forget Mercedes for the moment, and I'm not even going to talk about Red Bull because I mean the car is really designed for Verstappen and to make him like perform. But at the same
All
time,
Helmut Marko, Dr. Marko said this week, declared that actually they don't have the same parts between Verstappen and Alex's car.
yeah,
So how should we interpret that? That Alex has the slower car, or that that Alex is not fast enough on a car that they've tried to design for him as well, or I'm not too sure how to interpret that.
yeah. I mean, that's a really good question. But I mean, I think the big thing is like I keep saying, I keep repeating myself here, but like it really did show that the field is coming closer together. And then we also and I'm wearing red. I've got red lighting in honor of Ferrari's total fucking disaster. Like, oh my god, like, yep, you've got red socks. Like, Jesus Christ, they got beaten by a customer team. I mean, Raikkonen put that Alfa
Raikkonen.
Romeo in front of Leclerc. Like,
Yeah, they were.
oh my god,
Yeah,
what a
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
disaster.
And Leclerc, I mean, having to go back to the pits and refill the pneumatic.
Yeah, they had
I
some
mean,
sort of leak for the what is it
pneumatic. Yeah,
the valves
yes,
because they're all pneumatically actuated and
yes.
that and it was so funny. He's like,
Actually,
why
his
am I?
two stops, like the first stop was 15 seconds or something.
Yeah, and it was so
Also,
funny because they said, what was it that they said? They said he's like, "Why am I coming in?" And we go, "We'll tell you later." And there was that instance. It wasn't Vettel this time that had the radio controversy. It was
you know,
Leclerc where he turned his radio off.
no, he did not turn his radio off.
No,
What happened is that they recharged it, and then I don't remember exactly how it came about, but they explained to him what it was, and then he forgot to turn the radio off, and he went, "Oh la putain de sa race,"
yeah,
which is translation for uh,
oh shit,
fucking cunt. No,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's hard. It's actually quite hard. And he forgot to turn the radio off. So his engineer said, "Please turn the radio off." But he was like a bit, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That was not very nice what I just said."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he was obviously frustrated. I mean, this is, I think, one of, I mean, in the last, let's say, 5 seasons at least, the first time that I see a
Yeah.
car stopping during the race to refuel the air.
It's crazy. It's fucking insane. Like
Yeah, I've
how
never.
like Ferrari have just been just all over the place this season, and
And that's the thing. You're completely right. Actually, you can see all the cracks now. It's like,
yeah.
and this is why I think there needs to be a change of management there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of change of management, I mean, I
Let's
mean,
not go to Williams just now, but I mean,
okay,
when you see
okay,
this,
okay. I was gonna jump to
it's
Williams, but
crackling. It's crackling up, right? It's
yeah,
really, you can see all those, and I think this is really that means that there is a management issue,
yeah, I think
because
so.
it's kind of, oh, the basis is gone, and then you can see the building just coming down slowly
Yeah,
in every phase, when
they
they're
will
not ready with the
recover.
tires, when they, yes, they will, but I think that they really need to have a change of management. I think Binotto is perhaps too nice.
Maybe, but see, here's the other thing as well. I mean, even Ross Brawn has stepped in this week and given his opinion. And I mean, Ross Brawn, he ran the
Yeah,
team.
he
Well,
did too.
technical director, but like he was Mr. Ferrari when Schumacher and Jean Todt was there. So I mean, it's like he's the king when it comes to Ferrari land. And you
Yeah.
look at it as well. I mean, Raikkonen was Ferrari's last champion, and he beat them in an Alfa Romeo. So
feels a bit hard. So yeah, let's get on to Williams. Williams.
Well, speaking of management, I mean, this is going to be a fucking unpopular opinion, but Claire Williams, they're saying, oh, the Williams family is stepping down. I'm sorry, Claire Williams is stepping down. Not not Mr. Williams himself, Claire Williams. The team has been sold because
Sir
and you could
Williams.
yeah, Sir Williams, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But Frank Williams. But the problem is with Williams, right? It's a series of shit decisions one after another, right? They've had a lot of bad luck, went from BMW and blah 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 and all that sort of stuff. And I am so confused as to why Claire Williams, after Frank Williams decided I'm going to take a step back. I mean, he's very old. He's obviously got mobility issues and things like that. And
So yeah,
you know,
taking a step back, no pun intended, for the audience.
yeah, no pun intended. But the reality is, it's like Frank Williams is the Williams team, not Claire.
Yes.
Claire was
Well, she was not able to fill the shoes, I guess. Yeah.
No, and Claire Williams, before she was team principal or whatever label they give it within the Williams F1 team, she was the communications manager.
Again, there's a lot of things that she did that were right, and I think it's very hard to paint the whole picture by just looking at this. But I reiterate my comment from earlier. You were showing me that announcement, breaking news, Claire Williams steps down. And no, I think she stepped up, and got the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, I think she did. I think she did the right thing.
Yeah, I think
I have no idea how this new management. I think there's a lot of management coming from F2 actually stepping up and running the team. And then you've got one person from the investment company that's actually going to jump in as well. But honestly, Claire Williams.
It sounds to me like they both agreed for her to step down. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, we know how business works, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you and me.
Don't be fooled by it. Don't be fooled by the message of, yeah, I decided, and Dorrington saying, yeah, we're very sad to let her go. We wanted her to stay and everything. Yeah, don't be fooled by that. It's not. This is just a facade.
It's absolute bullshit. Me and Julian, who have had to do these things in the past, more Julian than me, but we have well, actually, I've had to do it myself, where we've said, you write the terms under which you leave and what we announce to the company, but we know why you're leaving. Simple as that. We've both had to do it in our professional careers. And, I mean, I can pull this up on the screen now, actually. I'll just pull it up on screen. It really is, like, I'm sorry, but she was the wrong person for the job. She didn't step down. We know she didn't step down. Everyone on, like, I've been watching all the F1 like YouTube posts and everything that they've been doing. And I'm sorry, they're sitting there going, oh, she can go and do this, and she thinks she's trying to save the team and blah 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 and all this sort of nonsense.
And that's something that she did was positive, find an investor and also finally let go and say that, because the thing is, as much as we can blame her as the individual, it also shows that perhaps in F1 today, because everybody's talking about, oh, we're losing some of the romance, especially, we're listening to Sky Sports. So, it's a team from the UK. So I guess, there's kind of a patriotic sentiment there as well. So we're losing a bit of the romance and all of that. And okay, that's fair enough. I can understand that. But that's probably also the reason why it was not competitive anymore. Yeah, because just that business model that they had, the way they were running the team was just not working.
But I mean, I think I look at it and go, if Frank Williams was 20 years younger, he probably could have adapted and really made it work. I mean, he was in the sport for 40 years. I mean, what do you want? What more can I say about that? And I look at it, and Claire came in and took over, I think mostly for posterity and to say, I am a Williams taking over the Williams team. And it did not take very many seasons for that team to suddenly just disappear and be sold off. And I look at it
They were losing 10 million USD per year.
Yeah, I look at it as a purely business aspect. And for those listening, Julian and I are business people. We have a strong passion for cars. We absolutely love cars. We love racing, particularly Formula One, and me personally, WEC. But honestly, like, we look at this on the business side, and we see, no, she was politely asked to leave, and they gave her own terms on which it was announced,
Yeah.
and that was it. Like, end of story. She
And
came.
you know what?
She was the communications manager for Williams while Frank Williams was at the helm. And like, I look at it and I just go, no offense to her. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being the communications manager. It's a pretty important role when we're talking about
it is an extremely important
it's an
role.
extremely important role when we're talking about an entertainment sport. I mean,
Yeah.
at this level, we're talking about entertainment, you need engagement. But when we're talking about a technical, and I know we have technical directors and things like that, and she's not the technical director. She never took the technical director role. But we're talking about a very technical sport, very focused around engineering and decisions made around at least a base level of engineering. I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but I do not believe she had it. And I think the fact that she at least had the balls to hand the reins over to an investment company to take over the team is honorable, but I do not think under her leadership she did them any favors.
And the thing is, I'm pretty sure, because I've listened to quite a few interviews, and there was something, I think, on Netflix also about Williams, or something on YouTube
Yeah,
you
there
can
was.
find. She's quite passionate about, of course, the history of family, but also people within the team. So I'm sure that she also, orchestrated her exit and the takeover from Dorilton in a way that will also protect the people that are there at the moment. So I'm sure that she's doing, all the right things. But yeah, I just think that, it's a big stunt. What they're doing right now, and yeah, nobody is fooled, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think the media is. But can you do me a favor and sit closer to your computer? The audio is just cutting out. Your Bluetooth headsets.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
Is it better? Is it better now?
Oh, it's fantastic now. No, but like, you're right. The media is thanking her. The media is praising her, for this next chapter in the Williams F1 team. But I think the Williams name is going to disappear. Personally, I think it will completely disappear.
I would, let's agree to disagree, and let's agree that you're wrong.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. In a couple of years, we will revisit this and we'll see what happens. But
okay,
right now, I personally, like, when we look at it, you and I have been in the position where we've had to let people go. We've had to do it behind closed doors, and we've given people the opportunity to announce their own resignation, or whatever the terms they decide it is. And in this case, this just seems eerily similar to things that both you and I have experienced on multiple occasions, where somebody just did not perform. I'll give it to her that she did the right thing in lining up the team to move into the next chapter with an enthusiastic investor. But let's be fair, we know what actually happened.
okay. I think that 2 or 3 weeks ago, nobody had ever heard of Dorilton.
Yeah.
I think they bought this for them to get the recognition that they need to continue on with their business, and it's in line with their strategy and everything. I think that Williams and the name Williams, the dynasty, I would say, or the history of that team, is what makes it so precious, despite it losing 10 million USD a year.
Yeah.
So I think that the name, especially from an investment company, will be considered an asset rather than anything else. The only way that I would see that the name would change would be the same as and Sir Frank Williams said no when BMW wanted to buy the team
Yeah.
and make the BMW Works team. So this is what could happen when Dorilton wants to get rid of it. Yeah. In
Yeah.
that case, yes, but under their management, I don't think they should. I mean, I don't think they would change the name because I think it would be a very big mistake from their side because again, there's that brand, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't disagree with the whole branding thing. I think the Williams team, like for all those that are young, is the second most successful team in F1.
Mm.
They have the most championships. They have the most race wins. Well, second most. They are actually the second most successful team in all the history of F1. So
Seven world champion, and 9 constructor championships.
yeah,
I think it is.
I personally do not want to see Williams disappear, but I can say, wholeheartedly that under Claire, it was not going the direction it needed to go. I don't know if it was a lack of respect. I don't know if it was lack of management skills or lack of engineering skills, but or knowledge at least. But the reality
I think
is,
it's investment because it all comes down to investment. How
yeah,
much they had to put, inject into the team.
100%. But you know what? Like, this was
But
the right.
it's part of her management. She's the one to bring in the money with the sponsors and everything. So yeah, and give the direction and the strategy and where we're going, and perhaps do like what Ferrari is doing. Okay, the next 2 years we're not going to do anything. We're focusing really on 2022.
Yeah.
New regulations and everything, because
That's okay.
essentially that's and that's courageous to be doing this. I think in Ferrari it's more there's an endemic problem in the team and in terms of management. But I think for Williams it was also a problem of investment.
Yeah, I think it's a certain. There's a lot of things that were going on there, but I certainly don't think. I don't think they were purely down to a series of unfortunate events that she
No.
adopted.
And to your point, Williams disappearing, in a way we've lost some of the Williams. It has disappeared in a way a little bit. It has disappeared to the back of the grid in the last few years.
Yeah, it
I
definitely
mean,
has.
you need to keep in mind that they have the best engine on the grid.
Yeah.
And that was genius. That was really good that they did that. Also, that they got that engine in that car, right? So there were things that they did really right. But remember last year they missed Spain, Barcelona, the test like almost
Yeah.
entirely
Yeah.
actually. So the car was just not ready, and then it was too heavy, and then it was too heavy but had not enough downforce.
Yeah.
It's like like all the things that could go wrong, everything was in the red, and that is a lack of management. Not being ready on the time, not being able to deliver, that is really down to the management. And everybody put it on Padillo last year, and I'm sorry, I think he was struggling to get the decision made as well.
Yeah.
I think maybe the decision making or the matrix or the way they organize the business is probably where there is like a lot of improvement to be made.
Yeah, I agree. It is not a series of unfortunate events for Williams. It is purely management, and like you said, it was clearly demonstrated by missing a lot of the testing last year. So
we're judged on USD revenue. They're judged on milliseconds.
Exactly. I don't know what more to say. I mean,
then shut up.
No, but I really think it's irresponsible as well for the media to sit there and praise Claire. I really think it is, because I look at it and say, hey, like, nobody's gonna fucking cry me a river if I fuck up.
No, but she did have the balls to step down and look for an investor. So she understood that she was not capable of doing it. is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I
So
get
she
it.
did
Like
that, and
that,
you know,
and that's
okay. So
exactly what
then
I
you
was
know
saying.
what? I'm gonna work on the transition, on the succession, ensure that everybody is safe, and that is good. That is also the sign of a great leader. You know, to
Yeah,
be able to
that's
say,
exactly
well,
as I
just I
was.
can't make it. So
But that's exactly as I was saying. Like, it is really honorable that she actually went out and tried to have a smooth transition. You know,
mhm.
that I don't disagree with that. I think that was a really, really honorable thing to do, knowing that her time is limited there. You know, her timer is running out, whatever. But you know, at the same time, like I said, I just find it really dishonorable for the media, like F1 media and blah blah blah, every other fucking news channel and sports channel, sitting there saying that, you know, she can now go off and do this, that, and the other, and instead of focusing on, there was a lot of bad decisions made. There was a lot of no decisions made. You know, I look at that personally, and I just sit there and I go, you know, as somebody that's judged on a daily basis on my performance, it's like I just,
And
this
every
level
night
of, yeah, this level of sympathy, this level of sympathy
we talk in
is,
millimeters here.
yeah, yeah. They're trying to give her a good send off, but I'm
Mm.
looking at, I'm being somebody that is realistic in the world, and I just don't like. I'm everyone on this fucking podcast that's listening is probably going to be thinking I'm the biggest asshole, but I don't care, because the reality, like,
Everybody already thinks that. I mean,
yeah, probably, but I mean, I look at it and I just think, I live in this world. You live in this world, and we can see exactly what's happening. And then you've got some fucking like commentator sitting there going, "Oh, she can now focus on being a mother and blah blah." Every interview, every news article, she can
but
now focus on being a
you
mother.
need
I
to
just go,
realize
come on, like,
you need to realize that you know, being bitter and you know, in a way that's what they're doing by saying this as well.
yeah. But I mean,
You
like,
know,
you know,
it's a finally she's out, and
yeah,
now we're gonna have a real team that's gonna be a contender in the next few years.
like inside
And it's going to
jokes.
take time, and it's going to. I mean,
Yeah,
look at, you know, the other teams. Look at Alfa Romeo. Look at Renault. You know, all those teams. Even the steps they've made forward McLaren, but it takes some time to get back to
yeah.
the front of the grid,
But you look
right?
at,
So
you look at what's happening. You just look at it. Like I said, Spa was the greatest indicator that the teams are coming closer and closer together. You know, and you know, speaking, you know, Red Ferrari, like you said, there needs to be some fucking serious shake up there. They got rid of that last team principal. You know, the gangster. I can't remember his name. I've completely forgotten his name.
um,
But
now that you mention him now, I forgot.
you know, you look at Binotto, who was there during his time, and you're just like, what? Like, come on, man! Like, there's some fucking big problems. So if they're saying to Binotto, okay, we will allow you to write off 2020, 2021.
Maurizio arriva
Uh,
bene.
yeah, there we go. But and then work towards 2022. I'm sorry, but that's like, you know, you know what I look at? You know what I see that as?
No.
Binotto is going to be the fucking asshole that destroyed Ferrari for 3 years, right? And then as soon as 2022 comes, some a Ross Brawn version 2.0 is going to walk into the team. That's my prediction.
Actually,
Is going to
some people are
disappear.
suggesting, just suggesting, sorry, that it's Arriva Bene who actually destroyed the team, and Binotto is now trying to fix what
It's
was the problem.
possible.
So
It's
it's like
100% possible.
but it's Ferrari, it's Formula One, it's politics, and it's exactly the same things we hear from the politics, you know, in charge of our governments. Oh, the last government fucked up, and now I'm having to clean up everything, and that's why my results were not so good when you look at it on paper. But look, the next term is going to be better, and it's going to be a change in leadership and blah blah blah. So it's like it never ends, you know. This
Yeah,
it
sure.
never ever ends.
I get it. I get it. But I mean, the thing. I think I said this last podcast. Ferrari at the moment is very much company man. Are you a company man?
Mm,
You know, whereas when they were winning, the Holy Trinity, remember Schumacher, Jean Todt, Ross Brawn,
mm,
had nothing to do with the company. You touch one of us, you touch all of us. You
mm,
know, and it was very much focus of, we're going to do what we're going to do. you're going to get the highlights of Ferrari won this many world championships. This driver was a Ferrari driver. But the reality was it had nothing to do with company, man. It was three people who knew what they wanted, three people who are at the top of their game and said, we're going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
And I look at it with Charles Leclerc. I look at it with Carlos Sainz for next year, who's probably shitting his pants at the results of after Spa. And I look at it and say,
He had it worse at Spa.
Yeah, I look at it and I just say, I'm sorry, but I do not see a great team principal. I do not see a great technical director, and I do not see a championship driver coming together, forming a pact. I know a pact is not necessary, but it could be unwritten law. It's possible. But I do not see this coming through and saying, we're going to win this. You're going to shut the fuck up and you're going to let us do it. I do not see that happening. It is all because, Ferrari is publicly listed now. I do not, it's all stocks and it's all company, man. And you know what? A few podcasts ago, we talked about Toyota. That's what killed Toyota.
So here's the question. Well, yeah, the Toyota plus the decision making in Japan as well. That model that doesn't fit a very agile, flexible, and quick response to things. On it, we agree completely on this. But then, what we're saying essentially is that the family model doesn't work anymore.
No.
And the shareholder model doesn't work anymore, or the business model doesn't work anymore. So what works? What works is Mercedes then.
Yeah.
Mercedes is listed. But Toto Wolff is strong. So yeah, it's his team.
No, but you know what it is? Toto Wolff is not Mercedes. Toto Wolff is Toto Wolff and his investment company.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about successful Formula One teams, it's the Holy Trinity all over again. Toto Wolff is untouchable. You had what's his name?
Lewis Hamilton?
No.
I'm kidding.
Fuck, Red Star. My mind has gone because I'm fucking wasted right now. But
the audience doesn't.
Lauda, Niki Lauda. You had Toto. Oh,
Niki Lauda. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Lauda.
Oh my god, how could I forget? I was just trying to. Yeah, same
Toto
thing
Wolff,
here then.
Who's a private investor who presented a business plan, right? You had Niki Lauda, who is Niki Lauda. And then you had Lewis Hamilton, who was basically said, we want to sign you for this season.
I think we found just the recipe then.
Yeah.
It's on the family business, there's too much touchy feeling, and why don't you do that? And we need to align and agree and everything.
You need assholes. You need assholes.
Leaders. In Ferrari, there's just too much politics, and so what you need is a pragmatic approach. Niki Lauda was always saying, I was impressed by the no sentiment, like no feelings approach to racing of Lewis Hamilton.
Yes.
And Toto Wolff is probably like this as well. So what you need is just this.
And you can see this. Toto Wolff is managing. Who's he managing at the moment? Not Saints. Ocon. He's managing Ocon. But that's the thing as well. But it's like I said, you need assholes. Like, I don't give a fuck what people think.
Not saying that he's personally an asshole, but I mean, you need people who you need people who are directive. So leaders, they inspire the people to follow them as well. So that's why you cannot just say that. But yeah, when they take a decision, it's that's the decision.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that's the thing. Like, you look at, like I said, I'll go back to the Ferrari heyday with Schumacher. You had people that were ready to make a decision and stood by it. And that's exactly what's happening at Mercedes.
Guys, we found the recipe,
to
a successful race team, Formula One team.
You need
so when we're saying this, Alonso coming back to Renault is probably the worst decision ever, because he brings in, even if it's not through his own the decision or whatever, but he brings in a lot of baggage and history, and that history includes politics and maybe too much feeling rather than a
I
pragmatic
think he
approach.
had 5 years of shit luck in Formula One. If you put Alonso, and Alonso is like Hamilton. He really is, in my opinion. He is like Hamilton because he's consistent. He's like Webber. Webber was consistent. He was second and third in championships every year because he was consistent. Bottas is not consistent, right? But that's just the way I look at him. And if you get him with the right people, I mean, look at what's happening with Vettel right now. Vettel's not a bad driver. He's a 4-time world champion. And he is basically been forgotten by his own team. That's my opinion. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Whatever you think is whatever.
Is it relevant?
Is irrelevant because it's my opinion. But he's been forgotten by his own team, and as a result, he is now.
Let's call Ferrari. I think you should send your CV for Ferrari.
Yeah, he is
You're
now.
looking like an asshole.
Yeah, but he is. Yeah.
Are you trying to apply? Is that what you're trying to do right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna make the jump from my current industry to motor racing. But what was it said?
You know you would.
I probably would. I probably 100% would jump industries if the call came to my door. But the reality is this. Ferrari. Wait, what the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah, Alonso. So Alonso, if you have the right people behind him, he's gonna perform. The problem with Renault, like Renault is a fucking successful team. Forget what they're doing now. Forget the pretty colors they have. They are a successful team. It was Senna that raced for them as well, right?
For who?
Senna.
For
Renault.
Yeah.
Senna was in Renault,
Williams Reynolds, yeah.
Yeah. So I look at it this way. Renault is going to be that next big team. To me, that's my opinion. I think Renault is going to be the next big team. But they don't have a superstar leader. If you like I couldn't tell you who is running Renault right now. I don't know.
Well, it's Cyril.
Okay, cool. But Ricciardo. But that's the thing. Ricciardo is making the move to McLaren. Good for him. But there's nothing about the Renault team that I've ever gone and looked at. It's about Ricciardo and the people supporting him. It's just Ricciardo, But if you look at the big teams that have always been successful, it's always been the star driver and who the fuck is the team principal. So if I look at like Mercedes right now, it's like Lewis Hamilton is a god. And then you go, yeah, but then you've got Toto Wolff, and then you had Niki Lauda. You had all these people really driving that team. And you know what? They were driving the team, not necessarily the driver. Because even Rosberg, he won a championship with Hamilton on the team. And I know we've got all the controversy of he didn't win a championship. Lewis Hamilton lost a championship. Say what you want about that. But
that's just because I don't like Rosberg. I've never liked him.
That's okay. I'm. But
it's just a personal thing.
I came around to Rosberg, and I made that clear in previous podcasts. I came around to Rosberg. I was very much on your camp of I don't like Rosberg, and then suddenly I was like, no, he actually, there's something about him, And say what you want about him, I came around, but again, you look at Renault, who I think will be at the front of the pack again. I guarantee you that they will be at the front of the pack again.
Let's see. The next year they don't have any customer teams, right? Customer teams does help to gather and yield data and and helps, let's say, advancing the development, in a certain direction. So there's not gonna they're not gonna have any customer teams. So out of the three manufacturers on the grid, engine manufacturers is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, I think.
Yeah.
Also, really that Concord agreement and the cap, of how much investment can be made and all of this. How is that going to change things and dynamics? I'm not too sure. Let's see.
Well, you know what the thing is. The companies that don't didn't invest in previous years are going to suffer, right?
Well, that's the thing.
Because
But
you look at Mercedes, you look at even Williams, and you look at Renault. They have the wind tunnels, they have the knowledge, they have the internal company knowledge, and know how to develop something. It's the companies that don't have the previous year's investment that are going to suffer. So this is where I look at it and go: the manufacturers are going to be favored here, not because the FIA decided that we want to favor the manufacturers, but because I think they're the companies that invested. Now you have like the Concord agreement and all this other shit that's going on. They're the ones that are going to benefit from it. And you know what? Good.
yeah, but for me, the danger of that
honestly,
Concord
I
agreement is that it's going to freeze the situation as it is, and we're never going to move up. So the ones that are in front will stay in front. And then the ones that are behind will stay behind because anyway they won't have enough to invest to catch up also.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, racing is always there for the manufacturers. I don't care what fucking discipline it is, whether it's rally and Mitsubishi are winning all the time, or Subaru, or Toyota, as it is Toyota now, or like if you look at World Endurance
why do you
Championship,
say
Porsche or Audi?
WRC rally? Nobody ever talks about freaking Citroen, who are like killing it in that category, and that guy Sebastian Loeb.
He's the king, isn't he? In my
Time.
mind, like if you talk about who's the best driver in the world, I would say Sebastian Loeb. I don't care about anybody. Like Sebastian
Time.
Loeb.
For those who haven't heard, I mean, this is one thing that I've never really completely understood. Even in France, like people don't even really realize WRC who is winning. Oh, Citroën is winning. Yeah, it's kind of news for them. And that's Sebastian Loeb, and then Sebastien Ogier. We had like a dynasty of Sebastians, like winning. I think for like 14 years in a row. It was
But that's
just
the thing.
unbelievable. But yeah, when we talk WRC, we think Finnish drivers, we think Subaru. Subaru never really won that much.
No, they didn't.
They were not like successful. We talk Lancia and all of this, but we never talk Citroën and Sebastian Loeb or something like this.
Peugeot.
Peugeot, yeah, Peugeot with Jean Todt. Jean Todt was the one winning everything.
Yeah,
Then he went on
exactly.
to the car, and then he went on to Formula One.
Like honestly, like if you want to talk about real motorsport, the French fucking know what they're doing. The French and the Germans know what they're doing in motorsport. You know what I mean? But if you want to look at like the two best drivers in the world right now, I would not even talk about Hamilton. I would not even talk about Vettel. I would not even talk about Leclerc. I would be talking about Ogier, and I would be talking about Loeb. I think
they're quite amazing.
Sebastian Loeb doesn't race in Formula One because he fucking protested Formula One. He went for his platinum license or whatever, and there was some technicality, and he just went.
Yeah, they told him he didn't have enough. He didn't have. Yeah, exactly. He did say that actually, exactly like this. He said because he was testing and he was supposed to be to be entering a team, I think as a reserve driver or whatever. Anyway, enter F1 one way or another, and they told him he didn't have enough hours on asphalt.
Yeah, it was incredible. And you just sit there and go, how many world championships? He's got like 8 on. I don't know how many world championships the motherfucker's got.
And he said, because for one, it seems that Sebastian Loeb is not the nicest guy to be around to. Also, he's really driven,
Yeah.
And so anything that gets on his way. And so he said, yeah, well, then you can go get fucked. That's what he said.
And that's the thing. That's the biggest shame. Like, I would love to see Sebastian Loeb in a good car in F1, but I'm sorry, but like.
Well, he did race in BTCC.
Yeah.
Which was I was watching it actually at that time. BTCC. He still wasn't as fast as the top drivers.
Mm.
But it's him. So yeah, of course, the first year he entered, it was like second or third in the
Yeah,
championship.
but
But yeah, didn't win.
but don't forget what happened at Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
They paved it, and he beat the record by like 4 minutes. 4 fucking minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, on a car that was a freaking prototype, and like
They're all
designed just
prototypes.
only for.
Like,
No, but
you look
that
at
one was like, I mean, you saw that it was Peugeot, I think, or Citroën supporting it anyway, building that car. But yeah,
yeah.
it was just. But
But you
yeah,
have to you have to look at it. Like, it was another French driver that then overtook the record. But it was in that Volkswagen ID whatever.
IDR, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was another French. What was it? Who was it? He was a Le Mans driver. It was what was his name? Dumas, Romain Dumas.
C'est Romain Dumas. Yes, yes, yes.
He went and just took the IDR on every circuit and beat every fucking record, beat Formula One records in this IDR. They had to change fucking drivetrain technology to beat Loeb. But you saw how fucking much he beat that record. The second they paved the whole thing, they put him in that T16, 0 to 100 in 1.6 seconds. That guy fucking ruined everybody's day. Nobody came
And
close.
what actually amazes me is that when you look at him drive, it looks like he's taking a stroll down down the road to go to the pub.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't
100%.
look stressed. He's like, that car is it's a beast, right? The car. But that's what I find really impressive in the style, because they have all the cameras all over. Of course, it's available on YouTube. You can search it, or maybe Eric can put a link on the description below. To the video. But yeah, he really looks like he's completely, how do you call it, relaxed, in the way he's driving it. It doesn't feel like he's going full blast. But yeah, he beat the record by quite the margin. Yeah, 4 minutes, I think it was. Yeah, you're right.
Like,
So yeah,
I just look at that and I go, the biggest loss in Formula One was not having Sebastian Loeb racing there.
well, one
And
of
Sebastian
them, yeah, one of
Ogier as
them.
well. I don't know if Ogier was
No, I don't think he ever was a candidate for Formula One.
but there's I look at when we're talking about Dream Garage, the funny thing is, I'm part German, so I love all these German cars, like the 911s and everything like that. I look at it and go, my number one car is a CLK GTR, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's, I think, only 25 of them in the world, so I'm never going to be able to afford one unless I drop $25 million on today's price, US dollars, to buy one of these things. But everything else is just a weird fucking French car. It's all Renaults and Peugeots that I fucking want to buy, and that might. It's just like, I think that says a lot about you and me. Is like we're fucking like diehard motorsport fans, and we look at the reality of who was successful in what year, and it just seems like these French manufacturers in F1, in gravel, in hill climb, in endurance, they seem to be so fucking successful.
Well,
And
Le Mans as well in endurance
yeah,
championships. Do you remember the Peugeot 905? I think it was.
yeah. Oh
Um,
man, I was so the 908 HDA. I
oh yeah,
actually saw that
908.
car. I saw the car in person. I
They're
saw
so
it.
small, aren't they?
They really well.
I mean,
When you look at them, they're not, and then you just put a car next to it, and you go, "Okay, there they are." But
yeah, they're
the
quite small. I
908,
mean,
the 908 HDI that not Jack Brabham, yeah, I think it was his son that drove it when they won. I saw that and was just like, I spent an hour photographing that car and looking at it. It was at the Sydney Motor Show back when the Sydney Motor Show was a thing. To me, these are the cars that capture my heart. They were the underdogs, that year when Peugeot was 1, 2, 3, and every single car had the same turbo failure, and then Audi took the victory. I was cheering for Audi, but I really wanted to see Peugeot win. I was like, they deserve it. They about 18 hours into the race, I'm like, no, Peugeot deserve it. In the last hour, all the cars had the same failure. The turbo blew up.
Mm.
And my heart sunk. I was just sitting there going, they fucking deserve that. The year after they won, obviously, but honestly, like if the opportunity came up to buy a CLK GTR or the 908 and I had the money, the reality is I'd buy the 908 because
Okay.
these are the cars, the stories.
Yeah, but you can't drive it
It
on the road.
I don't care.
Actually, no, you should be able to. The Le Mans. Oh no, I think it's finished now. Because some of the categories in Le Mans, you need to have a plate number, so the car needs to be registered. So
Yeah,
that means you can drive it on the road because it is public roads, all right, at the end of the day. But
yeah,
yeah, just one cool thing that I read this week is have you seen that Vettel bought the FW14B?
yeah. He bought Nigel Mansell's car.
Yeah,
I that's one of the things. Like Vettel is having such a rough time in Formula One now, but this really goes to show that despite all the bullshit, he's not a poser. He is a racer at heart. He's like you and I, you
and
know.
he really does love history of
Yeah,
racing. I didn't know that about him, but
you
that article says that. Yeah.
you and I. Well, Nigel Mansell's one of his
Can you give
favorite
me
drivers.
just a minute? I need
Yeah,
to
yeah, sure.
refill.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
sure.
continue talking, and then the other thing that we should talk about is the new S class.
Yep, 100%. But that's one of the things that really made me very happy is that to see that, you know, Vettel through all his struggles, through everything that's going on through this season, you know, Vettel really is to a car guy. I'm a car guy. Julian's a car guy. Um, he really is showing that he is a car guy, and he loves and I guarantee you he feels very privileged to do what he does. You know, but you know, to buy that FW14 was it really made me happy because like I'm just repeating myself now. I'm a little bit drunk, so please I have to apologize. But you know, to see him reach out to the Williams team, buy that FW14, Nigel Mansell's car. Like if any of you have watched a lot of the historical Top Gear episodes, which with Clarkson, Hammond, and May, you actually had Hammond on you actually had Hammond on the show, and when he was on there, you could clearly see he mentioned Nigel Mansell. You know, he talked about his steering style. You know, because you took your wheels in, and you just, you know, you got to remember that. And for him to buy that car, that was Nigel Mansell's car. It never won a championship, but I'm pretty sure to see that he owns one of his heroes' cars really brings great joy to him, and that says that, you know, Vettel really is a driver. He really is a petrol head. You know, he really loves the sport, and to see him put the money into, I think he bought it for £2.5 million or £2.4 million, which is a lot of money. So to see him do that, I have a lot of respect for him, but I also
Yeah, I respect that as well
yeah,
completely. I
it
agree.
also shows that he absolutely
This
loves
is
the sport.
There's a lot of drivers who don't really care about cars outside of race cars and what they're doing. Like I mean, the ones that they have that year to race, right?
Yeah,
But other than this, they're not really into cars. But that's what I like about Vettel is that he also loves cars.
yeah, and that's what's his name at the World Endurance Championship racer is Hartley. Hartley, he's from New Zealand. They asked
Brandon
the
Hartley,
question. Yeah, Brendan Hartley. They
who
actually
was in
asked.
Formula One before.
No. He wasn't. I actually got to see him race in Sydney
Mm.
at World Time Attack Championship. It was really cool. He was racing time attack cars, you know, modified cars, but what you and I want to do. But he somebody asked him the questions about, you know, what do you think about the history of, the 917 and blah 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 and all these cars that in the GT1 that won Le Mans in the past. And he just said, "I'm sorry, I don't actually know what you're talking about." You know? That was his answer. He's like, and that's the reality is like these manufacturers, they hire the best driver, but the best driver may not necessarily know what the fucking heritage of the team is. And that's a shame. And to see Vettel really just go, yep, I'm putting my money on the table, shows that to me, that's just like, It warms the heart. It's like he's really in Formula One. You know.
Actually, I don't know if. Let me look up online if there's an indication of Vettel's car collection.
Vettel is so private.
A long list of cars and bikes owned by Ferrari F1 driver. It dates November 24, 2019.
It's going a while. Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can open that up. A long list. He's got some pretty cool stuff in there. He's got a Suzuki T500. Okay, so that's the thing that I like. He likes obscure things.
Yeah.
Let me just share the screen here. Up. Yeah, that's the kind of bike that he has. A
Really?
classic Suzuki T500, Kawasaki H2 750.
That's fucking cool, man.
Okay, now we're talking.
So I didn't realize he was into his bikes.
Yeah, just yeah, so I love that bike.
The KTM 390.
It's
Oh yeah, I
quite
love that
small,
bike.
but I really like this and the Duke. I really like from them.
I'm a
That
big
is
fan
very
of the
nice.
Duke. I'm really thinking about buying a KTM. I really like them.
Yeah, but yeah, do you bike?
No, it's all right. The laws are a bit loose here, so I can learn.
Yeah, but be careful because I've got
Yeah,
a friend of mine just yeah, got a it's a Vespa, so it's a different things, but still 150cc or whatever. So strong enough that, and he hurt himself actually. He did
well,
hurt himself.
you know what? I was actually thinking. I know the
Oh,
KTM, right? But
oh,
I was actually very much considering buying a Vespa Super Sport 300.
okay. Well, for someone who's never been on a motorcycle before, I would really advise against it strongly.
I've been on a motorcycle before. I used to ride trail bikes, man.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. It's dangerous. Anyway, let's continue with Vettel and Ferrari F40.
Good. I'm glad to see that that's in his collection.
Ferrari California T. I hope he sold it now.
I'm sorry, I'm a fan of the California. I like the California. I like the new version, whatever it's fucking called now. I like it.
Oh, I think that's probably the Black Series. This one,
That
the
is a Black Series.
SL65
Yeah,
AMG. Yeah.
that is a Black Series. I like it. I'm glad. It's good to see that he has that.
A Mini Countryman.
Well, he has 5 kids, so that makes sense.
How many kids does he have?
5. He's got 5 kids.
Really?
Yeah. You'd never know. He never posts. He doesn't have a social media account or anything.
Yeah, true. Okay, it's probably so for yeah. Okay, so Infinity FX. Yeah, that was his Red Bull time.
Yeah, that was a cool car. That thing sounded insane. Do you remember the videos of how the sound of that?
Yeah.
That thing
definitely
was
fun.
incredible.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
But Vettel is a car fan. That's all I can say about Vettel. He's a real true petrol head, and the fact that he was able to pick up the FW14 is incredible. You know.
Have you seen this as well?
What's this? What am I looking at?
He helped people basically to the Ferrari fans by selecting some of them, 40 of them I think, or 70 of them, and paying 40 euros to have their face, on the grandstand in the during the race in Monza.
Oh yeah, that's right. This week at Monza, they're paying. Well, not paying. People were able to have their face in the grandstand. And you know what the funny thing was? It's great that Vettel actually did that. But you know what's even fucking. You know what I think is kind of pathetic? Charles Leclerc paid to have himself in the grandstand. Isn't that fucking stupid?
Maybe he's gonna enjoy it more there in the grandstand than inside the car.
Yeah, maybe. But I think it's fucking great that like to me, Vettel, he has gone from the most hated driver to me personally, he's my favorite driver. But
He was not making any excuses,
no,
when he was in front, and that's why people hated him, because he was
yeah,
first all the time. And that, I think Lewis Hamilton is also faces probably a bit of hatred because of this as well,
I
because
don't
he's
know.
always
I
in the
don't know
front.
that. I don't know
But
that why that he faces hatred. I think everybody loves him. I look at him and I remember him for when he was back in F1. When he started, and I
yeah,
remember him as a whinging bitch. He just wouldn't stop fucking whinging about every fucking steward's decision. I don't know. He just like annoyed me, and I don't forget that. Whereas Vettel was unapologetic about his success.
mm.
He went to Ferrari and he had a bad time, and suddenly everybody
But that's
loves
when
him.
people started to like him,
Yeah,
because he was not winning anymore. He was not in the front all the time anymore.
exactly. And you see this, and you see his sense of humor. Like, what is the grain? They said, I'm from the graining, um, the newspaper in Spain. And then he goes, "Oh, you must work for Pirelli." you know. So I just look at it and go, "The guy's got a sense of humor. He's really funny."
He is funny. I mean, like, there's
But
some of the yeah,
but
some
you
of his interventions are just
he
funny.
loves the sports. He loves the sport, and I could be 100% wrong here,
And he's
but
a petrol head, yeah.
he put his money down on a historic Formula One car, and Lewis Hamilton hasn't.
Well, yeah, but Lewis Hamilton's collection is also nothing to be ashamed of.
No,
Uh,
but I would 100% say, like, if
let's have
yeah, sure.
a look. Car
But
collection.
my favorite Lewis Hamilton car is the 760S, the Pagani 760S. I know it's not a great car to drive, but that's my favorite car that he owns. Everything else is whatever. It's what's hot on YouTube right now. But for Vettel, I don't know. I don't know. It just tickles me the right way that Vettel bought that car.
You sure like your tickles.
Of course.
Okay, McLaren P1.
Yeah, of course.
Shelby Cobra 42. I'm sorry, this is not bad. Also, a LaFerrari, and I mean, for him being at Mercedes to own a Ferrari like this is, yeah.
That's not uncommon, man.
The Vision Mercedes Maybach 6. Look at that thing.
I love that car. I really think that's a
Yeah,
fucking
it's
amazing
it's
car.
amazing, but
Mm.
it's yeah.
It's a boat.
This one, Pagani Zonda. I really like the way he spec'd that one, except the wheels. I have something against black wheels. I don't like black wheels.
Okay. I
Maybe that
actually
will
really
change,
like
but
the purple and black. I think that's a really nice look. Yeah.
AMG GTR. Not even the Pro. A 599 Aperta. I'm sorry, that's boss. If we could, we would also. And the 6x6 because yes. Okay, I see a poser's car. Sorry.
I like the Aperta. I like that.
Yeah.
Six by
Love it.
six. I think the 6x6 is cool.
It's very cool, yeah, but those are poser's car, no?
Yeah, I
The
don't, I don't know.
SLS, AMG, I'm sure it's the Black Series as well, probably.
Yeah.
Nice. Eleanor. Although I shouldn't say Eleanor because otherwise they're gonna steal our podcast and
Did
our
you hear
computers
about
and our
that?
homes.
The B is for Build Eleanor
Yeah,
thing? Oh my
yeah.
god, what
That
a
time
fucking
B was for
disaster.
bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah. What a fucking disaster, that fucking
Yeah.
investment company. Apparently they own everything Eleanor based. So
Is this out or is this not out? That Project One? I don't understand.
no, it says he owns a Project One, but the thing is I watched a video of Rosberg ordering his Project One as well, but
Mm.
you know, it's a car that's been teased, but I've never seen one. So it's a car that I guarantee you we're going to see at some stage.
So yeah, okay. He's got nothing that is, they're all posers cars.
Yeah,
It's for him to sit on like exactly this, and I see what you mean. There's no.
it's all Instagram cars. The 760S I have a lot of respect for. I think that's a great car. Manual Pagani Zonda V12 engine.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, have you watched me this week?
What did he do this week?
He went on to Switzerland with his Senna. He did a 400 kilometers trip, and there was a meet with 10 to 12 Koenigseggs.
That's cool.
and not like, even though they're Koenigseggs, they're not like the typical one as well. Like they're like, maybe they made 3 of those editions, kind of thing.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, very, very cool. And he's like, that's what I really like about him. He's like excited. He's like a little kid in a candy store, really.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so now it's time, I think, to talk about the S-Class.
Sorry, my laptop was going flat. Yeah, okay, let's talk about S-Class. Let me pull it up for you in a second. All right, I'll pull that up. We can talk about.
Don't you have a chauffeur for that?
No,
to pull up the S-Class?
Well, not for my mouse. There it is.
What a car.
The future of the S-Class. So, for all of those who haven't listened to previous podcasts or may have forgotten, Julian and I both have drivers. So we have a particular interest in cars.
And my driver is not my wife, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. We pay them. But we have a particular...
My wife, just to be clear.
Yeah, we have a particular interest in cars that you get driven around in. So for all of those businessmen that like to buy, 7 Series or S-Classes or Bentleys or Rolls Royces to be driven around in, or no, to just buy them. It's a different level to be actually be driven around in them, and so this is where we have a great affinity for these sort of cars, and the new S-Class is a very big announcement in the world of, well, in automotive. It's supposed to set the standard for luxury, and I'm just going to be as honest as possible and say I love it. I think it's a great looking car. I think the new layout is fantastic. I think the looks are great. But the thing that's really interesting, and I think, Julian, you might have something to say about this, is the S-Class is no longer setting the design language for Mercedes.
Yeah, that's just the looks. I think the shape of it, I like it a lot. The lights, the front, the headlamps and the back lights, I'm not a big fan. Especially at the back, it reminds me a little bit more of Toyota. Sorry to say, but
Yeah,
I know BMW is doing this as well, like having smaller backlights, but not a big fan of those design elements.
I read a really interesting, or listened to
And if you come back to the previous picture, though, that looks really weird. That 10 degrees, the rear steering. Sorry, one more. Again, one of those. There was one of the images that you were showing just when we're looking at the rear. Damn it. Continue scrolling. Continue. Well, yeah, this one. Look at the rear wheels. 10 degrees. It looks really weird.
It does.
It looks like it's broken.
But
it's not.
The rear wheel steering is a good thing. But honestly,
it is. Really steers like it's got a the turning.
The thing that's interesting is, in this generation of the design language of Mercedes, the S-Class is no longer dictating the design language. The A-Class this is straight up A-Class.
Yeah, but they've done that a little bit, not for the Well, actually, no, they have done that because when we bought my wife's the C class, right, the Mercedes, that was the update of the interior, and at that time, the interior of the C class was better than the S class previous generation.
Yeah.
And so they've had Mercedes has had a tendency of just going, okay, this is the car we need to update now, and let's put the new design language into that car. And I've yeah, I don't think what really the S class does is in terms of technology in the car, that is always at the it always says, okay, that's what we're starting this with the S class, like the keyless entry, let's say, the air time, all of this. They start this with the S class and then they put it in all the other versions. So in terms of technology, yes, it was always the S class, spearheading what you would see come down to the C and other classes now. But in terms of design language, I feel that Mercedes has had some sometimes started, whether it's the interior or exterior, started with, let's say, lower classes than the S class.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see, but I mean, I don't think they've done a bad job with this new S class.
The shape looks fantastic. At the shape of it, I think the proportions are just right. It's beautiful.
It
Just
really is.
the headlights and the headlights a little bit, but yeah, the backlights just have a bit of a problem with them because they're just too reminiscent of what Toyota or Lexus is doing.
I agree, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a Mercedes, so you can sort of look at it and say, their quality is going to be different, but I don't know, like this car just tickles me in all the right ways.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful car. The proportions are just amazing. I'm still a BMW guy, so I would still go for a 750.
I mean,
Or is
you're
it the 760M?
you're being driven around in a 7 Series at the moment, so I mean,
I don't mind.
it's a good. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I'd be very happy with a 7 Series myself, but I don't have one right now, so I suppose I could sit here and comfortably say, I think this S class, it really tickles it. I love it. I don't know what more to say about it. I think it's a great looking car. It sets the standard for luxury. It always sets a standard for luxury. And you look at Rolls Royce and Bentley, and they just end up copying what Mercedes and BMW do. And all they do is they just put more leather on it. I know that's an over exaggeration, but these are the companies that are really defining luxury. So I think what they've come up with, it's a subtle update, but it certainly meets the demographic. Like you don't want something shouty. There's a lot of people saying that it looks too sporty. I don't see it. I think there's nothing about this that looks too sporty. It very much is a Luxo barge, which
Who
is
who says it looks too sporty?
I've heard a few reviews
Seriously.
where they're saying it looks too sporty because it follows the A class design language, and the A class is supposed to look more
Oh.
sporty. But
I must say that the current generation S class, I mean, okay, 2019, let's say, the outgoing version, I really like the looks. It looks like very, yeah, very comfortable. Yeah, okay, I can see where they come from when they say that.
yeah,
This one is a bit more. Yeah, it has it. Yeah, okay, a bit more sporty. Okay, I can see where they're coming from with this one, but it's still no BMW for me.
no, I understand. Like I completely understand where you're coming from. Um, but at the
Because
same
I don't like to use my turning lights.
but I think they did a good job with this car. I think it's the second people get behind the wheel, they get all these preconceived notions of it looks like an A class. They're going to go out the window and they're going to go, this is another class of car. Mercedes always seems to nail this kind of Luxo barge chauffeur driven car. and everyone follows after. And people say, oh, they copied a lot of Audi and BMW's technology for this car, but it's about being ahead. So if you don't have
Yeah,
the same,
it
yeah,
is. It did again with the S class. It's always spearheading. The technology. It was the first car. I believe the first car with massage seats, or at least the first European car with massage seats. It was all of those things that they do. Is basically you're gonna see this in a few years in other cars.
of course, yeah.
At least in the range of Mercedes, but usually also other manufacturers. So
Definitely.
yeah, no, I really love that car. I think it's I think well done, Mercedes.
I agree. I think it's a fantastic car. Like, it's very hard for me to say anything more than that. I just think wait until the demonstrator models come out into these different countries and people start driving them, and I think they're just going to forget about everything else. They're just going to go, well, they've just done it again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, my favorite is the E65.
The what?
The E65.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite 7 Series.
Okay.
The Chris Bongo. Not the first one, but the updated one. I think from 2008. Yeah, no, from 2005 or 6 or something like this. Anyway, that the updated, the facelifted one. Yeah, that I just love. Yeah, this is also very sexy. That's the Bisotto, like what is it called? Right. Okay, so I know it's an electric car, but where did they borrow the drivetrain from?
I don't know where the drivetrain is from, but it's like a 935 Flachbau. Yeah, 935 Flachbau. I think what's his name, Richard Chan. I think he used to be on Speed Hunters. Did a thing on this many years ago. Sorry, not many years ago, many months ago. But this thing is crazy. It's fucking fast. This thing, and I advise anybody out there to really look at the Bisimoto.
Is it Bisimoto? Yeah, that's it. That's the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He's got a crazy 911 as well, twin turbo.
Well, he's got a
Yeah.
Cayman. Have you seen that crazy Cayman? The center seat
Now,
Cayman.
please come. Yeah, I'll go for a couple of seconds. Please show. Let's have a little look at the cars that that guy came up with, because it's just insane.
Yeah.
So show us some pictures.
Yeah, sure. But that Bisimoto, he does such a fantastic job of, really interpreting a car. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. But he's all about reliable power. And he really does a great job. I'll just pull up his website just so you guys can actually see it. But he's always had such good cars. He always, he's also the guy that designed what was it? He designed that 1,000 horsepower. He designed 1,000 horsepower Honda. What is it? 1,000 horsepower Honda people carrier. I think it's an Odyssey. But you can see the stuff that he does. It's really impressive, and I don't know where he's from. I think he's from South Africa or something like that. He's moved to Los Angeles now, but he really does an incredible job of having his own interpretation on certain cars. So here you've got a Boxster 986. And he designed this Boxster because he decided he wanted to go and do track days. So he thought, what would be the most ultimate track day car? So he designed his own track day car. And you can see it's a center seat car.
Oh
So
yeah, I saw that one. I saw it before. Yeah.
yeah.
Center seat. Now it rings a bell. I never saw the finished product. I think it was still a project at the time. I
Yeah.
saw the video. Wow.
But it is a fantastic car. I think I don't remember his name, but it's busy something busy, but like Bisimoto, it's he has such great interpretations of what he thinks a car should be. And this is removable hardtop. You know, he has a number of other cars, like what's this?
The Boxman. It's the
Yeah, yeah,
Boxman. Yeah, that's the one that I was. That's the one that I saw him present in Jay Leno's garage,
yeah. So
which
it's
is actually what you're watching now, I believe.
yeah, yeah. So it's a good-looking car. You know, like it's
We don't have the sound.
I've turned it off,
Okay.
and I can't really show it as well because
Oh yeah.
copyright and all that shit. But I think he does such a good job of interpreting cars. You know, um, and I love his passion behind cars as well. He thinks outside the box. He does his own thing, and it's great. Julian,
Yeah.
I have to hit the bathroom, so you're gonna have to fill the stream for a little bit while I hit the bathroom.
Okay. There's no notice period or anything with you. All right. So what are we going to be talking about? Nothing much that is worth mentioning. You know what, guys? Let's have a quick look. Let me share my screen, and let's have a look at the results of FP3 that was just going on while we were doing this. So, well, there we go. Lewis Hamilton is still ahead. No, what is this? That's Spa-Francorchamps. That's the result. Let's go to the website and let's have a look at the Italian GP. Let's have a look at the schedule. Italy and free practice 3 results. Real-time drama. No. Okay, so who do we have? Bottas is a little, closer to Hamilton this time. Wow, Lando Norris in the McLaren and Renault. Pierre Gasly also confirms that practice 2. How come we're not looking at the right thing? Didn't I click results of practice 3? Well, they're not up yet, it seems. All right then. Eric, I am struggling because I don't have anything to talk about. And being slightly tipsy. You need to come by quick. Well, that was a quick turnaround. Did you have time to wash your hands?
I did.
I wanted to have a look at I wanted to have a look at the result from FP3, but when I opened the link, it actually brought me back to FP2.
Is FP3 done? Well, we can talk about that.
It just finished, yeah.
I
It finished like 14 minutes ago.
So how about we see out the podcast with FP3 results? So let me open up the app.
They're not up yet on the on Formula1.com, yeah?
They seem to be always up to date on the app.
Or faster, you mean? Okay.
Yeah. All right, FP3 results. You're going to actually love this.
Join live session. Okay.
All
So
right.
Wait.
Right.
No. I'm not going to love this. Wait.
No. Shut up. Who do you think was number 1?
Valtteri Bottas.
Okay. Number 2.
Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, okay. You've got it in front of you. So Sainz, Norris, McLaren 2 and 3. And then
Ricciardo.
Renault in 4th. Exactly as we were saying. Renault are coming back.
What is Lewis Hamilton doing in 5th? I think they were running some weird things. They were probably running, race and fuel and things like this.
Party mode is gone. Party mode is done.
Yeah. No, but party mode is not going to change things. I mean, let's be honest. In qualifying, they will still be ahead. And qualifying was really what they were playing, in FP2. I don't think in FP3 they would have done so much on that side, unless they haven't finished the program or whatever. But
maybe
Pierre Gasly Charles Leclerc in 11th. Sebastian in 15th. It's gonna sting. Romain Grosjean is ahead of Sebastian Vettel in FP3. Again, we don't know. We don't know yet. Let's see during qualifying. I think this is more relevant. We never know exactly what program they're running. Are they running, the tire program? Are they running with fuel, like a race pace? Are they, did they have a technical problem? Are they just trying something again? Or we never really know, because Antonio Giovinazzi, 2 seconds behind. I don't believe is really representative of the pace, or the no pace of the car.
But to see Leclerc in 11th and Vettel in 15th, I'm not surprised after last week.
Yeah, not bad. And the AlphaTauris are a bit back as well, maybe on the back foot a bit this time.
Kvyat, yeah.
But 2 seconds between the first and the last. I don't think we can really infer that much for this, apart from the midfield cars. I would say like 1 to 10. So yeah, McLarens are faster than the Renaults.
But what the fuck has happened to Racing Point? 9 and 10, Stroll and Perez.
Well, they were disappointing last weekend as well. Yeah?
They were, yeah.
The result was just, it seems that they have the pace. I don't know.
You know what it is though, that Racing Point is not a big team, so they can't they might have a good car, but they might not be able to like deploy it as well as say like Mercedes would be able to.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? That is a little bit scary.
True.
Little bit scary, because Mercedes. That's when you see that the car isn't everything.
No, it's the team.
You need the team. You need everything actually. So yeah, every single bit is very important.
100%. It's very interesting to see McLaren in 2 and 3.
Yeah, let's see if it materializes in qualifying. But what I see also, because I'm French, so of course I'm always a bit biased when it comes to this. But top 5, 3 Renault engines.
I'm not French, but I love to see Renault in front. So yeah, 100%. I'm with you. I'd love to see more Renault up front.
So yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Okay, man. I think we call it there for this week. Yeah.
Yeah, let's call it there. Let's enjoy the qualifying that's coming up in an hour and a half.
Yep.
Always, guys, watch qualifying, because it's a race within the race. And I just can't. Especially with as we know, there's a lot of problems with overtaking, or overtaking is not that easy. So having a grid position is all the more important these days. So yeah, please watch this as well.
Definitely. All right, guys. Thank you everybody for watching this week. Remember, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate everybody's eyeballs and e-balls watching this show.
And message balls.
Yeah, please message. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right. Tell us we have controversial opinions. It's not a problem. We enjoy it. Yeah. But until next week, thank you very much, and we'll see you then.
Cheers.